One of the most popular videos that I ever made on this channel regards Starlight Homes. I get calls from people all over America who have just discovered Starlight and have additional questions about it. And I wanted to let you know that they have just opened up another community in Sanford, Florida, which is just north of Orlando. Now, the salespeople at Starlight tell me they anticipate that this community will sell out. It has 93 homes. They think it's going to sell out before the end of 2024. So we better take a look at this place. So Starlight is kind of the economical version of Ashton Woods, and Ashton Woods is a nationwide home builder. So Starlight is known for its affordability, and in this video we're going to look at 4 homes that are currently for sale in this community. We're going to look at Sanford a little bit and just talk about what sets Starlight apart. So this particular community is located on the outskirts of Sanford, Florida, and it's called Belair. So let's talk a little bit before we delve into Starlight in greater detail why you would want to live in Sanford. So Sanford is in Seminole County, which has some of the best schools in all of the state of Florida. And if you have a child who's in high school, the high school that it's zoned for is Seminole High, and that has an IB program, International Baccalaureate, and a nursing program. You're also really quite close to UCF. That would be definitely a doable commute to get down to the University of Central Florida if you have a student there or if you work there. So that kind of gives you the educational perspective. You're also really close to the Sanford Airport, which is a hub for Allegiant, which is, one of those discount airlines. It kind of flies to more regional airports. So check out the Allegiant website to see where it flies to. That's very convenient. Downtown Sanford, which you're probably like a 5 to 10 minute drive from downtown Sanford, has lots of restaurants and boutiques and cafes. There is a marina because it's located on the banks of Lake Monroe, and Lake Monroe is connected to the St. Johns River, which you can trace all the way up to Jacksonville and then hit the intercoastal. So if you are into boating or fishing, this is a wonderful location. There's plenty of marinas in Sanford and waterfront restaurants. Sanford has a cute little downtown area. There's a lot going on there. There's things like Porch Fest, which is when people offer their front porches for bands to come and play. It's a golf cart zone. There's a Christmas home tour. There are garden tours, art festivals. Every month on the second Thursday, they close down one of the streets and they have something called Alive After 5, where local vendors set up tents. There are food truck events all the time. So there's a lot going on, and that's very, very close by, close to this community. Now, the HOA fee in this community is $70 a month, and it does have a couple of ponds in the community and a walking path around the central one. So a lot of the houses in here are actually going to have a pond view, which is really nice. So let's talk a little bit about Starlight. So they're currently building homes and townhomes, but more on the periphery of Orlando. So this is, as I mentioned, sort of the economical version of an Ashton Woods home, so they're definitely not going to be in the super high priced areas. And let's go ahead and start looking at the models that are currently available as I continue to tell you about this place. Now, as you're watching this video, if you find that you have questions that are not answered and you'd like to speak to me, my contact information is always below here. There is also a link to my calendar. Please feel free to set up a time where we can have a one-on-one call or a Zoom call. I'd love to hear from you. So there are a few things that set Starlight apart from me. First of all, at Starlight, you'll find that all the homes on the interior are going to have the same finishes. So although there are 8 different models available in this community, the inside is going to look by and large the same. So you're going to have the same granite. All these houses are going to have white cabinetry. They're going to have Formica in the bathrooms and the same color of carpet and tile throughout the house. There are no design choices that you'll be making on any of these homes. So it's already predetermined what home is going on what lot, and you don't have to go to a design center and choose any sort of finishes. The smallest model is going to be around 1,400 square feet, and the largest is a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom with over 2,200 square feet. And since the interiors are all the same, this of course helps Starlight keep the costs down, and it makes the build go much faster because they don't have to wait for different tiles to arrive. They have purchased them all in bulk. No sourcing cabinetry, it's already taken care of. So if you're worried about the fact that all the interiors are the same, I can put it to you this way. In the future, let's say 10 years down the road, when people are looking at these homes as a resale, there aren't going to be, all the homes for sale in this community at the same time. So people aren't going to be comparing and saying, oh, every single home has white cabinetry. And by and large, in 10 years' time, nobody's going to remember who the builder was either. I find that to be true today from homes that are 10 years old. People don't ask, and you can look it up in tax records, but it's not that big of a deal. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. And of course, immediately after closing, you are free to tear the carpet out. You are free to change the Formica countertop to granite and paint the walls any color you like. So you can personalize the home over time for sure. One thing that Starlight does a little bit differently is basically as soon as you arrive on site, you're going to, they'll tell you a little bit about the community, and if you're interested, you will go straight to getting pre-approved for a mortgage. And then you kind of determine which houses best fit your budget and best fit your needs. So the model home isn't really set up like a model home, it's more like an office space. So that's a little bit different from other communities where you may have multiple models to walk through. Starlight also tends to speak to buyers more in terms of how much the monthly payment is going to be rather than the home price. And I like this because it makes it much simpler for people to understand affordability. And ultimately, the monthly payment is what most people are most interested in. And so let's talk about the affordability at Starlight. Starlight is offering an interest rate buy down. Most builders are. Right now, if you go under contract, they will be offering an interest rate as low as 5.99%, and they will be giving you $6,500 towards your closing costs. And this is one of the reasons, of course, why new construction tends to sell really well, because most builders are willing to contribute a little something towards lessening that interest rate to you by paying some of that interest that you'll be paying over time up front for you. It would be really expensive for you to do this on your own, but it makes sense if the seller is willing to contribute or do it for you. Like with solar panels, it only makes sense to do this if you're going to be staying in the home for a long time. So in terms of those monthly payments, the lowest price home that they have ready right now is called the Glimmer, and I'm going to show you that one. And it's going to cost you about $3,200 per month. And there is one that's less than that, but they don't have any of those ready yet for me to show you. But the Glimmer is your least expensive at $408,000. And keep in mind, with new construction, you do have the benefit of much lower insurance costs. And of course, you don't have to do anything to the home for probably 10 years. So, your appliances are warranted, the structure is warranted, the roof should, unless a big storm blows through, you shouldn't have to worry about changing out the roof. And insurance costs, again, it's much easier to get insurance and it's much less expensive. So when you are comparing resale to new construction, you might be able to bump your budget up a bit for new construction because of those interest rate buy downs and because of it just being less expensive to live there overall.